I am Brooke Buchanan. I'm from Sanford, North Carolina. So I started playing guitar when I was 8 years old because I'm not really that great at anything else. I tried sports and I just ended up embarrassing myself every single time I got out on the field or the court or whatever. So I started playing guitar, I guess out of necessity for something to do, and it just clicked. So I played guitar for 10 years. I started singing when I was 12 years old. And doing like little community theater things, and it just kind of took off from there. And ever since I was like 14, I've been playing in like the bar and club circuit around where I live and within like the hour region. It's been fun. So someone who's very untouchable for me in terms of influence is Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen will always forever be just like way up here, and everybody else is just kind of way back here. But he's super untouchable. He's the reason I picked up a guitar. I tell people for the last 18 years all I've been trying to do is be Bruce Springsteen. People like Jackson Browne, Tom Petty, Paul Simon, Randy Newman, John Prine, Bob Dylan, Tom Waits. Those are the people I'm the most influenced by. And then along with like this whole other world of like soul influence stuff. I know Ricky Lee Jones and Joni Mitchell are my two favorite female artists that just kill me, but in terms of like soul stuff, I listen to like Otis Redding and Sam and Dave and Marvin Gaye and James Brown and Etta James, Aretha, Patti LaBelle all the time, and that influences my writing as well. I'd say my music is very like it's very singer-songwriter rock, like that would come out in like the 70s and 80s singer-songwriter rock, but still very influenced by soul music and the emotion and feeling that is put into that kind of music. The blind audition was crazy for me. Just tons of work was put into making sure the song. I had to be super confident because I'm a very anxious person. So I was like, I can't be anxious up there. I have to put tons of work, and it was just I got the first block of the voice history, I guess, because this is the first season with the block. I got the first block, and that was just crazy. It was a great confidence booster right when I needed one. I think Team Alicia is the best fit for me just because I think she's influenced by a lot of the same people I'm influenced by, and then I have my own influences, so it works to where she's worked with a lot of people I'm influenced by too, so she has the insight, and she's just phenomenal. She's a classically trained piano player. I play piano, I play guitar, so just being able to work with someone who's just like a real like down-to-earth, true musician, like trained musician, is just amazing. When we were in our band rehearsal, the one note she kept giving me was smile, which I'm naturally a smiley person, but I guess when I get nervous, I don't really think about it. And I didn't really have time to cut loose in the rehearsal, so I was kind of like tense and everything. She was like, just smile, and it'll just like, if you force yourself to smile, it'll all just come, the rest will come naturally. And it worked. So, yeah, she was like, smile. It worked. I try to stay away from anything that is moderately like country influence, but I really kind of want to embrace that side of where I come from and try to like make it up that hill at some point and do more like, I don't know, I want to sound like where I came from. So that's the challenge I have to tackle, is sounding like where you come from. It would mean so much to win the show. It would be crazy. One, it would just give you this kind of like solid platform to just create and to be who you want to be and who you've like who I've been dying to be since I was like 8 years old. And I don't have a lot of opportunities where I come from, and this is arguably like the largest opportunity in music right now. It's like a surefire way you have millions of people watching you every episode. You get all those prizes at the end, a record deal that would just, I hope it would set me up for success.
My name is Christiana Danielle Hicks. I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana. I wanted to audition for The Voice because I wanted to do something different and bold. I really don't sing back home. I just sang at my school a little bit, and so this was like my first step in being an artist. And so I was like, I'm just gonna go all in and audition for The Voice. I started to sing in church with like most people who grew up in church, and so that's where I stayed singing in the church. I never took that outside of church. I had to do an art credit in high school, and so I chose choir. And then I got some solos in there, and that's when my best friends from like elementary school found out that I sang. They were like, we had no idea you could sing this whole time. I'm like, never came up in conversation. Like I just kind of lived like a double life, you know, my regular life, and then back at church, if you were never at my church, you never knew that I sang. And so when I went off to college, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be more outgoing, because my senior year, I got a throat infection and they had to remove my tonsils and adenoids, but it was really, really infected. And so they were trying to hold off on the surgery until the swelling went down to reduce like the scar tissue and everything. But my throat closed, and so I had to go into emergency surgery. And the doctors told my family that I would have permanent hoarseness. And so they asked me, was I a speaker or a singer? And so they said I wouldn't be able to sing again because of all the scar tissue, you know, through my throat. And so after I recovered from that, I did the showcase at my school, my high school. I said, I'm just gonna be bold. And so I joined my school's worship team. And so I led worship there. And I also did like these fun talent shows where I could be a rock star for like a night. And so when I graduated, I was like, I think I want to perform. I think I want to do this. So that's why I'm here. I think my voice is actually stronger after the surgery, and I've come back and I've walked into my own artistry and how I like to sing and how I like to phrase my words, and so yeah. Yes, I'm on Team Alicia, and when I was singing, you know, Adam turned around and then Kelly turned around and then Alicia turned around. But I just couldn't believe any of it, so I was just like, finish the song, don't mess up, finish the song, don't mess up. And so after I finally finished, I just kind of like started crying. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you are in my face, like looking at me, like telling me that I'm an awesome singer. And so I was just really, really humbled and super, super amazed. And Alicia said one thing that really stuck out to me, because I had no idea who I was going to choose. I love Blake. I really love Blake. And he didn't turn around, so I was like, what am I going to do? I don't know who I'm going to choose. But Alicia said that she heard my versatility and she thought I was a genre-bending singer, and that's what I really gravitated towards, because I don't like to get put in a box, and I like to reach all types of people in all types of ways. And so the fact that she saw that in me through, you know, just one song, I was like, we can really explore something here and come up with great music. Artists that really inspire me have to be the Ella Fitzgeralds, Billie Holiday, Luther Allison. These are all old jazz or blues people that I love. Norah Jones. They all appeal to certain, you know, aspects of my voice, and the different things that I can do, I have to attribute it back to them. And without, you know, jazz and blues, I wouldn't be the artist that I am today. Even when I'm not singing, you know, jazzy songs, I still have those influences. And so I mean, clearly like the Adele and Beyonce and Sia and Jessie J, like I could just keep going on and on. I would like to challenge myself by maybe picking songs that are, you know, outside of the box, and then showing who I really am through these songs. So taking a song, you know, rearranging it and being like, this is what I would have done, or this is how I hear music, because I realize that I hear things differently than how they're presented. And so a lot of times I'm already rearranging it. And so I can just explore that and, you know, test my limits with this kind of stuff.
My name is Jacqueline Livi, and I'm from Placerville, California. I've been singing all my life, but I got a guitar when I was around 10 or 11, and I just picked it up and just started playing and finding new songs to play, and I just really fell in love with the art of singing. It became my passion. And just coming here to The Voice was just another way to help learn and grow, and I'm just super grateful to be a part of this experience. My parents aren't super musical, but they love music. They're big music fans. So they always had music playing, and we were always encouraged to sing or pick up an instrument and learn. Seeing the first chair turn around was so shocking, honestly, because you're caught off guard. You're just singing your song, you're in the moment, and then all of a sudden you see in the corner of your eye a chair, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to stay in the moment. I have to keep singing. It's very overwhelming. I picked Alicia because she just has such a cool, down-to-earth energy, and she spoke a lot about being honest to who you are and just being real, so I really appreciated that, and I just wanted to work with her. Alicia's really brought out myself in my music more, just trying to go through the song and finding where I can open up and be real in the music. I really appreciate that. I love to perform any songs that just have a lot of energy in them and just a lot of good soul and good feelings that make you just feel emotions through the music. Yeah, I would watch The Voice a lot with my mom or my dad, and we would just watch it, and we loved to just find all the artists online and everything and stalk them. So now being here, it's absolutely crazy just knowing that I'm out there, and now other people can find me and listen to me and enjoy my music. It's a wild experience.
My name is Jamai, and I'm from Chester, Pennsylvania. I'm from Chester, Pennsylvania, a very patriotic place. Everybody that's from Chester we're all passionate about our hometown. Very small city, it's about 36,000 people in the city. And it's about 10 minutes south of Philadelphia, right by that Philadelphia airport. And I'm an entrepreneur. I do singing telegrams for a living. And I have a singing telegram business, J Telegrams, and I do any song, any place, any time, any location, and I've literally done probably any scenario you could imagine. My singing journey has been very long, I'd say. I decided to really take it serious and pursue it when I was about 14 years old. And I've been actively pursuing it nonstop. I'm 28 now. I lost my mother at a very young age, and so I use that as inspiration. My grandmother has been my hope. She's been my guardian and has taken care of me, and so I just always wanted to make her proud and be her hero and kind of instill the hope back in our family in a lot of ways. And so music has definitely took me overseas to China. I've toured and I've done a few amazing things just with my talent. And so I believe that if it's not singing, then I don't need to be doing it. So my goal was to really do my best. And when I got out there and I felt the energy from the audience, I was like, cool. If they turn around a chair, that's cool. If not, at least I'm satisfied with my performance, you know. I opened my eyes and Kelly and Alicia had their chairs turned. And as much as I love Kelly Clarkson, she is the epitome of shows like this. She is a trailblazer in a sense. It was no question, man. Alicia Keys, I had to go with Alicia, you know, and she was so inviting. She told me that she's more interested in me as an artist and me even after the show ends, my time on the show ends, she's interested in, you know, mentoring me. So that really stuck with me. And she's so beautiful and like so warm and genuine. And it was like a no-brainer, yo. Like, Alicia, we out. Like, let's do this. She didn't have any critiques. And I literally was trying to pull it out of her. Like, I'm here to learn. I want you to tell me, like, what do I need to do better at? You know what I mean? She said she loved this. She loved the arrangement. And she actually told me that my first rehearsal with her, is like puts my Blind Audition song to shame because she didn't know that I had the range that I had as a singer. So I was so just like relieved, elated, it just was exhilarating just to hear her say those things and just acknowledge my talent the way she did, you know. So it was amazing. Up until this point, I've had enough great priceless experiences, you know, to take me on for years. So I'm truly grateful for her. She's so sweet. I mean, Prince has given me the guts to be fearless, and he's the reason I learned how to play guitar. And he's got this thing where he's like the most confident man, but just fearless with the things that he wears. And he gave me, or gives me, the confidence to be a big black guy with red hair, you know, and to be as masculine as I want and as free and as feminine or as flamboyant as my art allows me, you know, all in one. So I definitely will go with Prince as my biggest inspiration. I think I would like to challenge myself in just approaching songs with more emotion. I'm a singer, so a lot of things are easy for me to sing. I'm very versatile in my delivery and the genres that I can perform. But I know that what connects with people is your personal commitment to a song and to its lyrics and to its meaning. And so I know that my ability to connect with my audience is probably the place where I want to grow the most, because the vocal technical things, of course I'm not perfect, but I've pretty, that comes to me a lot easier than being vulnerable and revealing myself to my audience and connecting and, you know, being tangible emotionally. So I think the voice and Alicia will really help me grow in those areas.
Hi, I'm Johnny Bliss, and I'm from New York City. Back at New York City, I used to work the karaoke scene uptown and in the Bronx, sort of. A lot of late nights, a lot of partying with, you know, people just going crazy and stuff. And it's just not, we're not taken as seriously as most musicians because we're karaoke hosts, right? So it's like we're supposed to make other people sing. But it's always been a passion of mine, and I got the opportunity to start gigging as a karaoke host, so it was important that I did something with music and with singing because it's what I love to do. And my hero, which is my grandmother, is rooting for me, my little brother, my mom, just a bunch of friends that I consider my chosen family, are so excited for me, and they're just so happy that I've been given this opportunity. By the age of 2, I was already learning songs, but when I really discovered that I could sing was like around the age of 10 when I was in the chorus. So I'd say probably since that age I've been taking it really seriously. So when Alicia turned around, when I auditioned and I finally got the 4-chair turn, and I was just like in shock, so I kind of like stopped for a second, and my grandmother screamed on the side, and I was just like, and then I caught myself because I tried to stay as present as possible, and it was an incredible feeling to know that Alicia wanted me on her team, being that I've been listening to her since I was a little boy, and she's such a huge influence on my voice, period. So I just feel really stoked to be on her team. It's hard, you know, like once you're in front of them, it's a whole different vibe. You don't know who to choose because everyone's like, and then this season we have the block, it's even harder. So like, even if I wanted to choose Kelly, I wouldn't have been able to because she got blocked by Adam. So it was so cool, the fact that I got a block and a 4-chair turn. The block is a new feature on the show, so I got to be like one of the first blocks ever on The Voice, which is a huge honor for me. And shoot, if you don't give yourself credit, who's gonna give it to you, right? I'm very inspired by the greats, like what I think is the great, right? The greats. I'm very inspired by Mark Anthony. I always mention him. Jose, which is huge in Mexico, but I'm not sure many Americans know who Jose is. But he's like huge. Juan Gabriel, Bruno Mars, Adele, Alicia Keys, you know, there's so many artists that I could mention that inspire me. But it's like those voices that have these like really crazy, phenomenal ranges, and that's what gives me the goosebumps. It's what gets me in the mood to write a song. It's what gets me in the mood to fall in love or in the mood to move on from something. You know, like to me, music is I use it as a source of like food, like my soul is eating, and that's why I think I love these soulful voices. But I want to challenge myself into like working more with the live bands. I don't get that when I'm back at home. It's all instrumentals. It's always words on the screen. I'm very comfortable because everyone knows me there, and I'm just like way more comfortable there. So I'm outside of my comfort zone, no words, gotta follow the music, can't just memorize the melodies, I gotta come up with new stuff, you know, really explore and stretch out my creativity here. And it's the perfect place to do it. And I just hope I got the opportunity to go further in order to make that happen for me.
Hi, I'm Jordyn Simone. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I was absolutely fascinated by the show because I love the fact that the show is not so focused on, you know, your appearance. It's really focused on your ability to perform and be an amazing vocalist. So I thought that was a really cool aspect of the show that isn't like other shows, you know? I live in like Culver City area, so I have a lot of supportive friends and family that know I'm a singer and that know I've been inspiring. Of course, they don't know I've auditioned yet, but I'm super excited to, you know, inform them of the information and then have them support me along the way. So basically, I started in church. My dad's always been a singer, so we used to sing songs together in church all the time. So I did start in gospel music, but as I wanted to progress in my knowledge in music, I went to a performing arts conservatory called Amazing Grace Conservatory. There, I studied musical theater, all aspects of it. I did all different types of plays and musicals. That was extremely fascinating for me. And I decided I wanted to move on from that, and that's when I went to LOXA, my current school now. And there I study music. I study all different types of genres, from opera to jazz to gospel to musical theater, the list goes on, theory, all that stuff. So I've always wanted to continue to hone in my craft and be able to be diverse in the industry that I love so much. God, the blinds was like the most nerve-wracking day of my life. I'm so excited that I made it, but I'll basically start from the beginning of the day. We had an extremely early call time of like 5:30. I was exhausted and I was tired, but we got up and I got a chance to, you know, warm up, get my practice in, and then I walked out on that stage and it's like everything just completely opened up for me. I walked on, and the second that I heard that music, I knew like it was, you know, sink or swim. So I was able to perform my song amazingly, one of the best performances that I've ever had in my life that I was extremely excited about. And I got my chair to turn Alicia. I've always wanted to be on Team Alicia because I'm a huge fan of her music. I am fascinated by the way that she's able to, you know, carry herself as a woman, and she's so empowering of different women and people all over the world. And to just be behind someone that sends such a positive message is something that I've always aspired to do. Wow, during that lesson, it was amazing. I was able to get some really key information that any singer would, you know, love to hear and love to receive. So I was able to learn that in order to really execute a song properly, the most important thing for you to do is to, start at a low and calm space and move forward, to progress. Life is about progression, and so is the music. So I think I was really able to understand the concept of dynamic and adding color to a song, and something that I'd always struggled with, I have a very powerful voice, so I always just want to shoot it at you. But learning from my lesson with Alicia, I really learned that, you don't have to come out guns blazing. Get there by the end of the song, but start at a place where people are able to hear the meaning of it, rather than, how loud your voice is. Some of my favorite artists, let's think, okay. Because I'm familiar with a lot of different genres, it's really hard for me to specify my favorite artists, but if I think about them, I'll say Christina Aguilera, Jessie J, okay, it's just such a hard question. John Legend, Jill Scott, the list can go on. I'm literally fascinated by all these different artists' artistry and their ability to execute their music in an emotional and powerful way.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Johnson, and I'm from Newark, Delaware. I've always been a singer. I've always sang, even as a little tiny kid. But, I did events and talent shows, funerals, weddings, that kind of thing, throughout middle school through high school. And throughout college, too, I was doing little events and stuff. But I never really took music that seriously back then, because I was more about getting my degree and taking school seriously. But then I auditioned for The Voice, and now I'm here. I can finally actually work towards my dreams of being a musician. The blinds were insane for me. I was so nervous. I was just freaking out, but I was talking to my vocal coach, and she was just calming me down and just telling me things that really spoke to me. And I just got on the stage and started singing. And when the first chair turned, I feel I just blanked out. I don't remember anything that happened after that. I was just so excited that I got a chair turn. I'm gonna move on into the next round. And then when Kelly and the first chair was Adam, and then when Kelly and Alicia Keys turned, I was waiting for Alicia to turn, because that was the number one person that I wanted. And then for her to turn, I was just yes, and I was freaking out, and I kept saying I can't believe this is my life, I can't believe that this is actually happening, because I was grateful just being able to sing in front of them. Then for them to actually want me on their team, that was a whole nother, I don't have words, really. I grew up on her music. I grew up on Alicia Keys' music, and I just look up to her. She's so talented, she's so musical, and she seems like a grounded individual. I can actually learn from her. Her being my coach, I will learn from her. I won't just, it's not gonna be a diva type of situation. She just seems so down to earth and so humble, and actually wants to help us become better artists. And from what I've already experienced, she's been able to help me. So it's just I think that she was the best choice by far. Well, not by far, but she was definitely a great choice. Hands down, Lauryn Hill. She's my biggest musical influence. I love her. I love the messages that she conveys in her music. I love India Arie. I love the feel of her music more so. And I would say Beyonce, which is an obvious answer, but I love her stage presence and her performing skills. Back at home, my biggest supporters are clearly my parents and my sister, really my entire family. But yeah, definitely my parents, my mom especially, taking me to all my auditions or anything like that. And just my whole family is very, very, very supportive. The new challenge definitely would be doing a duet, because I'm not used to back at home. I didn't really sing with people. There wasn't really a big music scene back at home, so I'm not used to that at all. I'm used to only singing by myself, so harmonies and just working with another person musically is very different for me. So that was something that I definitely had to overcome, being able to harmonize with people. and just like the whole give and take of a song that typically you have everything and now you have to like give some, take some. So definitely that whole dynamic is new for me. Neo soul, hands down. I love singing neo soul music, and R&B too. I like R&B, but yeah, I really like to sing neo soul. It speaks to your soul, like, and I really like it.
I am Livia Faith, and I'm from Stanton, Kentucky. When I was 3 years old, I got my first karaoke machine, and my family thought it was really hilarious to just, let's all gather around the one child in the family and make her sing on the karaoke machine. And so it made me have like a really big love for it too. I just absolutely fell in love with a microphone in my hand and me singing. And as far as like shows, I did a lot of musicals with a like bigger, cast, and it was other people. So the attention has never been like solely, I've never done like a one-man show or anything. So this is like a huge step for me. Living room concerts are as extreme as it gets for just me by myself. So this has been like a huge like flip-flop in my music world. I have a big passion for oldies. I get ready in the morning a lot to just like 50s and 60s music. I just think everything like had a little swing, and you can dance to anything that you play from that era. I always tell my mom I was born in the wrong era because I was supposed to be dancing beside a jukebox to this music every day, and I was supposed to wear poodle skirts. I'm convinced I was born in the wrong era. My style of music is more like indie pop with like a jazz vibe. I really like putting a jazzier twist on a lot of songs that I sing. So everybody's like, oh, that was like sounded kind of jazzy, But like indie pop is like mostly my category that I listen to a lot. I went in there thinking like I'm gonna keep my eyes closed, or I'm gonna look away from the judges. Like there's no way I'm gonna be able to look at the 4 celebrity chairs and not have a panic attack on stage, because what if they turned and what if they didn't? It was just gonna be a lot for me. So I just already had made a deal with myself. I was like, you're not gonna look at them, you're gonna look at the audience, you're gonna close your eyes and like feel your song, you're gonna get really into it. And I barely opened my eyes and I saw that Kelly and Blake had turned their chairs. And I don't ask me why I did this, but I had like the instinct to like look over at the family booth, and immediately I almost got the giggles. I turned around and looked at them, and they were like, ah! They were like, I could see them like being hysterical, like back there in the booth, and like all red faced and like jumping up and down, and I was like, I can't do it. I almost got the giggles like halfway through my song, and I was like, I tried so hard, and I had to turn back around. And about the time that I turned around, Alicia turned around, and I was like, and then it became like I was shook because I forgot about them turning around for a minute because of my family. And then when I turned back around, and I realized that like, oh my gosh, 3 chairs are turned. It was like absolutely ridiculous. And I don't know if they'll show it or not, but right afterwards I did like a little like happy dance. Like I like squatted down and like did a little circle. I don't even know what happened, but it was really crazy. I went into my Blind audition with the like thought in my head, if Blake Shelton turns around, I'm going to be on Blake Shelton's team. And he was like one of the first people to turn around. Like him and Kelly turned at like the same time. And the more that I listened to them talk, it was like I was really connecting with everything that Alicia said. And I don't know, my heart just went like just straight. I don't know what noise that was. It just went straight to Alicia though. There was like no way I could get off that stage and not be on Alicia's team. You know what I'm saying? Alicia Keys is like the coolest person ever to be able to like work with. I never in a million years would have imagined that I would have had the opportunity to work with Alicia Keys like on a song, like have her sitting right in front of me and giving me feedback on something that I was so passionate about. So it's been super crazy. She is like the sweetest human, and she just like so pure. Like everything she says, you just like feel it. And I think I've learned like just to feel my song more being in the room with her, because sometimes I'll sing a line and I'll look at her and I can just see her like, you know, just like feeling it. And I'm like, yeah, if she's feeling it, like I'm feeling it, you know? So it's really helped me connect with my song a lot more being in that kind of environment with her, because she's just so positive and like uplifting. This is already the craziest thing that's ever happened to me. Like, I never even expected that I would be able to do a blind audition, like, ever. So just to have made it this far has already been like such a huge blessing to me. And I think if I were to win it, that would literally just rock my socks. My biggest supporters, my family is like, I just have this huge, crazy, wild family, and they just have so much love in their hearts for everyone. And I am like the most grateful girl in the world for the people that I've been like blessed with, as far as like who have raised me and like shaped me into the person that I'm trying to be. They're so supportive. I have like the best mentors ever for family.
My name is Megan Lee, and I'm from Los Angeles, California. I wanted to audition for The Voice ever since the first season, but I was too young when the first season first aired. I love performing, I love music, I love entertaining people, making people happy, and I think I wanted to audition for The Voice to be on a platform to tell my story and to just share my music with a broader audience. My mom, super supportive. My entire family, are very supportive of everything that I do, very positive and super uplifting. They are the reason why I do music and I entertain. And so, yeah, they are the reason why I'm here today, and I'm really excited, and they are too. I started acting originally when I was 10 years old, but music has always been a huge part of my life. I sung around church, in front of family and friends. I just love to dance around and sing around at home, and it's just something that made me really happy, and touching other people with music also made them happy, and just like I feel like music just brings people together, and that's just what I loved about it. So yeah, singing around talent shows, I just loved being in the center of attention all the time as a kid. So yeah, that's when I discovered I love music at such an early age, and I think I really just started like tapping into my artistry when I discovered YouTube, and I started posting videos when I was around like 12, 13 years old. I sang Killing Me Softly for my blind audition, and Alicia Keys turned around for me, and it was super shocking and exciting. But the reason why I say shocking is because, honestly, I just had no expectation whatsoever. I had no idea what would happen. I was just singing, and I was just kind of like just being in the zone, having a good time, and I just wanted to execute a good performance. And as soon as I saw something move in front of me, it was Alicia Keys, and she turned her chair for me, and I almost fell to the floor. I almost passed out because I was just so shocked and just so humbled and so excited. She's one of my biggest idols growing up. I listened to her music all the time, and you know, I think above all being a very great musician that she is, she's also an incredible human being and an incredible role model. Someone that I like to be, you know, as an artist and as a person growing up, you know. So it's really exciting to be on her team. Staying connected in this song and just have a good time, put in some swag. I also did ask for some advice vocally. I did have some issues in the past. I had some vocal trauma, and it's actually a condition that I still kind of fight through today. It's called spasmodic dysphonia, and it's like a condition, it's pretty rare, where my vocal cords kind of lose control and I start to shake or just crack while I speak or when I sing. And it's just kind of something that I've been struggling with for the past few years. It's been getting better, but sometimes it kind of comes out when I'm like stressed or anxious or nervous. So I asked Alicia if there's any kind of advice she can give me on controlling my voice and getting over being nervous, or just because I know that she has just such an incredible incredible vocal ability to just kind of move people with her singing voice. And I love how grounded her voice is, so I just wanted to see what she would say, and she really just helped me out a lot. She gave me step-by-step instructions, just like sing without any sort of ad-lib or trill or any, vibrato, and just sing as plain as possible when I practice my songs, or just scales, and that really helped me a lot, and I've been doing that ever since. Besides Alicia, some artists that inspire me, I really looked up to a lot of singer-songwriters. I really like Emily Sandé. I love Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson. I love Beyonce. I love R&B, soul. There's so many artists that I could list. Some artists nowadays, I really like listening to Jon Bellion. He's up and coming, amazing singer-songwriter, producer. But the one person I really do look up to, who's not an artist, but is my mom. She is my life advisor and best friend. This season, my main goal is just to grow more, leave the show with being a bigger and better artist. I want to see how far I grow vocally on the show. I want to see how far I can push myself to sing a song maybe that's out of the box of what I'm used to. Winning The Voice is kind of like a far-off dream for me, and that's not in a negative way at all. It's kind of like, it's like a hope, and if I could win The Voice, that would be literally a life-changing experience, dream come true. It's so cliche, but it would mean the entire world to me, and the entire world to my mom and my family. Especially to my mom, because she literally dedicated her entire life for me to pursue my dreams. And yeah, that would be incredible.
My name is Shauna Halligan, and I'm from Los Angeles, California. I have been involved in music my entire life. My father was a fantastic musician in a band called Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and so I've been around it. I've been around it my entire life, and I've been in several bands. I've toured with various bands, with my own band Bittersweet, and other projects like Thievery Corporation, and I've written music for years, and my music's been featured in a lot of film and television. So I'm no stranger to music, but this is an opportunity for me to step outside of a band name. I'm a new mom. I'm like reinventing myself, and I'm kind of leaving all the baggage by the wayside, and I'm just stepping into my own now as a solo artist, and there isn't a better platform than The Voice to do that. My experience with the blind audition was not what I expected. I mean, particularly because I have had a lot of experience performing. I thought I would just go in there and it'd be fine. It was really different and exciting and invigorating and intimidating too. My goodness, to go on national television like that and have to hope and pray that will somebody turn. That's a Whew, it tested everything in my body, I have to tell you. Alicia turned around for me, and as soon as she did, she had this beaming smile from ear to ear, and I was just so touched that it was her that turned for me, because her approach to making music feels so similar to the way I approach it in my heart, and there was no other coach for me. So I was just elated that she got me, just elated. So since I started working with her, I've just learned to be even more comfortable in my own skin. You know, she's a really authentic human being, and she sees you for you, and she brings out the best of who you really are. And so, you know, the lesson there is just to continue on that path of just being authentic and doing it my way, you know. If I wasn't doing music, I don't know who I would be. It's the air that I breathe. It's everything I know. You know, this is a very big sacrifice for my family. I'm having to be away from my beloved 2.5-year-old son and my husband, who's doing such an incredible job keeping down the fort. And they are just, you know, they're so supportive and so loving, and my biggest cheerleaders in the world. And I'm standing here hoping to make them proud, you know. To be the winner of this would blow me away. You know, I'm so grateful to even be going through this process and stepping outside of my comfort zone and trying something new. You know, just being here in the moment is really already enough in itself, you know. So anything's gravy after that.
My name is Shireen Callister, and I'm from Des Moines, Iowa. I auditioned for The Voice because I thought it would give me the platform to better myself and build a bigger fan base. Also, you know, in my life I've been told no so many times. I wanted to use this as an opportunity to say yes, I can do it. I'm not gonna stop my dream, and I felt like The Voice could help me with that. Yeah, so I started singing in the church with my twin sister. My grandma, she raised us till she couldn't, so I definitely have that church background. Blind Auditions, if I can go back and relive that moment, it was the best moment of my life. Actually singing and actually looking up and realizing Alicia Keys turned a chair around for me, I had to compose myself. I almost stopped singing, passed out on the floor, but it was just, I have no words. It's all I could ask for. You know, it was a dream come true, and I just thank Alicia Keys for turning her chair around for me, especially her last spot. She gave me some good pointers, you know, just basically believe in yourself. Don't doubt yourself, you know what you want to do. She also told me to make sure that I work on me listening to the music. So I took that and definitely worked on it with my battle song. So she taught me some good things. I would say Whitney Houston. Oh, I love Whitney Houston. I like JoJo. Beyonce is definitely one of my biggest, I love her. And I would say Mariah Carey too, them high notes. This season I want to challenge myself by stepping out of the box and stepping into a different genre possibly. I was definitely wanting to do a little country, so that'd be different, you know, especially with my voice. And it'll train my voice too to do things I possibly wouldn't have thought my voice could do. So I definitely think The Voice will help me with that as well. To win the competition, it'd mean everything to me. Every struggle that I went through in the past, you know, it's all worth it. So a dream come true. I have no words. If I win, I'm doing it for me and my family. So it'll definitely be an accomplishment for my family.
I am Terrence Cunningham, and I'm from Washington, D.C. About my musical journey, I've been a full-time musician my entire life, and leave it to my parents to tell you that I started playing the piano and singing when I was 3. And my mother was a choir director, so obviously all the solos went to me. And I grew up playing the drums in church first, but now the piano. And I've traveled to other countries, touring with different artists on piano and singing with artists and singing for, you know, my audience and things like that. And I think all of those things have led me to this grand stage that I'm on right now, which is The Voice. Some of the artists that influenced me were, firstly, I have the huge responsibility and luxury of having my great aunt, the late great Etta Baker, folk jazz legend. She would sit on the porch with my great grandmother, Cora Phillips, and they would sing and record, but I didn't know that they were famous when I was a baby, but then find out that she's indeed a legend. And so it was those things. I grew up a lot in church, so there was a lot of gospel music that I enjoyed. Of course, outside of gospel music, you have, you know, folks like Stevie Wonder and Bobby McFerrin and Chick Corea and Art Tatum are some of the people that have helped shape and kind of seed the music style that I have now. The blind audition for me, I mean, there's nerves, but there comes a point in anything that you do when it's time to do it, it's time to do it, right? And so one of the great luxuries I had was I got to play the piano, which is a third arm, which is, you know, my best friend, you know? So the fact that I got to walk up on stage and actually sit down and take a moment, because, you know, normally you have to wait for a cue from the band, but I was the cue. So I sat down, kind of took a deep breath, and then I started playing the song. And from that point, it became surreal, it became familiar, it became something that I do every day. And I, you know, thank God for it, because it was a lot easier for me because I had my best friend sitting in front of me. Alicia, I mean, what can't you say about her? She's such a wonderful spirit. Outside of her musicianship, she's just a wonderful person, and that's why I chose to go with her. I've been a fan of her music since she had the braids, and she did, you know, I keep on falling. Even from then to where she is now, she's just a beautiful person, and we've talked, you know, one-on-one, and we've had rehearsals and things like that. And it's just a light that kind of illuminates off of her, a light of compassion, a light of understanding and patience and tolerance, and I just love her. She's just a beautiful, beautiful person. She really encouraged me to speak up and ask to play while I sing, because I didn't want it to be assumed that I'd be able to play every time, which I may not be able to. But we were in a rehearsal, and she said, "Is there some reason you're not playing this song?" And I said, "Well, I didn't know if that was the option." She said, "What, are you crazy? Go get the keyboard." You know, always do basically where you find solace is where I think you'll be most productive, right? And so if you're comfortable there, so that's what I learned from her. Comfortability is standard when you're doing anything in life. Some of the things that are challenging about The Voice is I may be a musician first. It may be a 55-45 thing for me. And one thing about musicians don't know lyrics. So having to learn these songs and remember these songs has been quite challenging for me. But again, it's nothing that I can't, you know, overcome. And something else about what I love about The Voice is that they instruct you to really just hone on what you do well, hone in on what you do well, because if I don't believe it, the audience isn't going to believe it. So that's another great takeaway I've taken from them. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that The Voice is giving these artists, and that's all we can ask for is just the proper platform. That's all every artist wants to do. We just want to find commonality in any aspect of life that we can, and we have so much to share. And the fact that you're giving potentially millions of people an opportunity to see you, that's something no money could ever pay for. And so hats off to everyone here at The Voice. That's an amazing opportunity for every artist that gets the luxury of crossing that stage. My family, of course, my parents who have been married some 40 years now, they've always supported me. They would lug me back and forth to piano lessons. They would take me back and forth to church. They would take me back and forth to shows and gigs, be it graduations, weddings, whatever I had to play for. They were always willing to invest. And had it not been for them, I wouldn't be in this seat right now. And my daughter as well. I had my daughter when I was very young. I was 16 years old, and we are best friends now. And what I love about this is that it shows her that if you follow what you know, if you follow what's innately settled within you, you can make a life out of it. So